Hey everybody, welcome to today's WDVX Blue Plate Special. Thank you guys for coming out and joining us here today. My name is Nelson Gullett. I want to thank you for joining us here on a Saturday afternoon. We are inside the Visit Knoxville Center here on the corner of Gay Street and Summit Hill in downtown Knoxville. It's a beautiful day. You are welcome to come out and join us here this afternoon because we have a nice hour of music in front of us. Nighthawk is with us today, and I'm going to go ahead and turn over the stage. It's Nighthawk on today's WDVX Blue Plate Special.
Someday it'll be easy to fly. Till then I'll hold tight to my pride. Thought might be like turpentine. She stayed close, tied to my side. Caught me in a wavering stance. All it took was a passing glance to know I was deep in a trance. Found love, found real romance. Whispered in my ear so quiet, till all I could hear was silent. She had taken to the wheel, my little pilot. Her passions turned so violent. Caught down from that tall tree, threw down the apartment key. She took it slow and yelled back to me, "You'll never get this back." She smiled funny. Now she rings loud in my ears. Sound echoes through the years as I try shift gears, try to drown it out with tears. Whispered in my ear so quiet, till all I could hear was silent. She had taken to the wheel, my little pilot. Her passions turned so violent. Whispered in my ear so quiet, till all I could hear was silent. She had taken to the wheel, my little pilot. Her passions turned so violent.
Thank you guys so much. That song was called Little Pilot, and it hasn't been released yet, but this next song, Pale Blue, has. It's on our debut album. Before we begin.
Why don't we just lay side by side? I'll try not to ruin this with my hurried mind. It's hard to close my eyes. Your smile is something new, and I can't relate to the life I was used to. A boring waste. You took all my time. What is this meant for if not for you? My voice loses its harsh edge. Sent it down to dunes. Sent it down. I never thought such a cynic could be imbued with the warmth of your pale blue. I'm biting my tongue and biding my time. Did I just waste the best of my life? Is one wrong turn a warning sign? What is this meant for if not for you? My voice loses its harshness, sends it down to dunes, sends it down. I never thought such a sin could be imbued with the warmth of your pale blue, with the warmth of your pale blue.
Thank you, guys.
You're tuned in to the Blue Plate Special here on WDVX. Nighthawk with us here today. Make them feel welcome one more time, everybody. They've been on the road for a few weeks now. This is the final day, but not the final stop of the tour. They're headed to Nashville tonight, going to be playing at the East Room later this evening. You guys were here at the Prez Pub last night. I want to get some info about the band and kind of your history and everything, but is this your first trip to Knoxville as this group?
Yeah, it is. It's our first trip actually anywhere south past Washington, D.C. We did a tour last year, started in Portland, Maine, and ended in D.C., and this is our first time down south, and it's been incredible so far. Thank you guys so much for such a warm welcome.
Yeah. So this, you mentioned Portland, Maine. That's the origin point of the band, and this was kind of a COVID project, if we are still calling things that these days.
Yeah, sure. So me and Coulter met freshman year of college up at Bowdoin College in Maine. And yeah, we were both just two people with guitars and interest in writing music, but there wasn't a lot of outlets for meeting people or anything like that at the time. So it was kind of a fate that we found each other and started writing together. But we actually started with a cover band for a couple of years. And then we started playing music that we wrote, and we were like, this is so much fun. We should do this more.
Yeah. And the reason that we're called Nighthawk is because we started writing songs inspired by Edward Hopper paintings. So Nighthawks is like the famous painting, The Diner. And so Peyton and I, when we first started writing music together, it was sort of like, oh, this is just a creative project to have on the side of the cover band at college. But then over time we were like, wait, what if we made this our main thing? And then eventually we stopped writing Edward Hopper songs, or exclusively Edward Hopper songs, but the name stuck, and we still, draw on some of the aesthetics and his style.
Yeah, well, I wanted to get to that because that is the origin is the painting, and you've got some matchbooks over there on the merch table, which feels like a very late night Edward Hopper diner kind of thing.
Yeah.
You guys got to play a show in his backyard.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was so cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was one of those just surreal things where like the whole band took a little pilgrimage up the stairs to the room where he did a lot of his painting. And there is something about Nyack, New York, where it's just like you look out over the kind of Hudson Valley, and like there's just sort of a soft glow, a soft light at night that kind of like, I don't know, it makes sense why he paints the way he does. But it was incredible because we're not used to playing necessarily in front of a lot of people who know Edward Hopper or like know his paintings very well, but this is the first time I think people really, like the entire audience was picking up on all the little references in the songs. So yeah, it was pretty extraordinary.
So then the shift from writing songs about, and I'm not a huge Edward Hopper enthusiast myself, but like what I assume are these lonely late night diner patrons, to the more personal approach that you've taken on the new record Before We Begin. Is there much of a shift from the 20s and 30s diner denizens to the the on the move young indie rock band of the 2020s?
Well, that's the funny thing is there actually wasn't that huge of a shift, at least with our sound. I think the reason why we were so drawn to those paintings in 2020 was, the COVID era. And it's kind of funny, it was 100 years later, but it definitely resonated. Those feelings of isolation and loneliness definitely kind of passed on into our own work. And now it's funny because this album, a lot of it is about New England, where I grew up. I grew up in Massachusetts, and we went to school in Maine, and a lot of those landscapes that Edward Hopper is known for are taking place in Massachusetts and Maine and New York and all of that. So I feel like it was actually a really, really natural transition, and that sound and the aesthetic of those paintings still exists in our music today.
Yeah, well, we're so glad you're here with us today, and hopefully you're not lonely while you're here in Knoxville and on this trip. They're going to be in Nashville later tonight at the East Room, and we're going to turn the stage back over, but real quick, if you listen to the introduction of the show here today, you heard Grace, a pre-recorded voice, say support for the Blue Plate Special comes from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. We need to re-record that intro because you've heard us talk about it all month here on WDVX. We no longer have the support of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. In fact, at the end of next month, there will be no Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The congressional rescission vote of July happened. It took 2 years of funding away from the radio station, funding that was already approved by Congress and in our budget for the next 2 years. So we have in this month of July been trying to raise $100,000. We're calling it August Rescission Recovery Month, and we've done pretty well. We've raised over $80,000 for WDVX in these last few weeks, and we have a couple days left in August. We're inviting our listeners to go to the website, wdvx.com/support, to make a donation to the station to help us keep doing things just like this, the Blue Plate Special. A big chunk of our grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting was specified. It has to be spent on the production of this show, the Blue Plate Special. So that is some of the money that we are trying to replace. We'll talk more about it at the end of the show, ways you can help us out. But I heard Grace say that at the start of the show this morning, and yeah, that's no longer true anymore. There is no Corporation for Public Broadcasting. But we're glad you guys are here. We're glad Nighthawk is here with us, and I'm going to turn the stage back over. It's Nighthawk on the WDVX Blue Plate Special.
When you shoved me in your car, I wasn't green-eyed surprised. With my head hanging out the window and my mouth full of flies. I'm at a lot of crowded bars and parties where I'm not the center of attention. Flirty notes on the check never really seem to pay the pension. I see you standing across the room, subtle glances building tension, wondering if you'll be gone soon, so I won't have to convert looks to action. Reaching for the glass, down and back, 'cause you're reaching for the toy, hands clasped. Motorcycle hair, and you don't care that I drive a hatchback. If your mother ever met me, I'm sure she'd have a heart attack. 'Cause it's not the aesthetic, but the image that I like. Don't take or you won't get the payback. We almost jumped off the roof. You weren't looking for the truth. You never keep to yourself, but I do. I never asked you for help, but I wanted to.
Thank you. That song was called Green Eyed, and it was on our first EP, Everything Good Ends.
And this next song is called Something on My Mind, and it is one of my dad's favorite songs, and I think he's watching right now. So this one goes out to you, Dad. The song is basically about a boy and a horse who grow up together on a farm, and the horse like never really makes it out of the barn, and then eventually, you know, the boy, like, he gets to be a teenager, and he's like, all right, we gotta have some fun here, and then he lets the horse out, and the horse like runs off, and that's sort of the story of the song. So, without further ado.
I've got something on my mind. Take a moment, let me try. You're slow to run again, I know. It's late, the day is done, just go. I don't wanna hear the truth, I just wanna be alright. It's not a thing against you, I'm just trying to pick a fight. I'm restless and waiting for the end, but you give up before we begin. 'Cause I've got something on my mind. Have you ever seen sunrise? Nothing gold can ever stay. Now it's time to run away. I don't wanna hear the truth, I just wanna be alright. It's not a thing against you, I'm just trying to pick a fight. I wait for you to leave, to beg for you to stay. We're driving in the dark, and I couldn't see your face. I'm restless and waiting for the end, but you give up before we begin. We give up before we begin.
Thank you so much. This next song is called Roadkill, and it's on our album. It's about roadkill.
Getting real sick of always having to pick up your roadkill. Watching the squirrel meet its fate on your back wheel. You got where you were going, you weren't keen on slowing down. Maybe I'm always moaning about you being so mean to the road and sing this down. You better watch where you're going, you never know who you're mowing down. I'm a red brush stroke away from losing my faith. Getting really used to everyone calling me Pete. Sick of always stuttering sight of your roadkill out of my head. You better watch where you're going. You never know who you're mowing. You better watch where you're going. You never know who you're mowing down.
This is Nighthawk with us today, everyone, on the WDVX Blue Plate special. And I can't let you follow a song about a runaway horse with a song about roadkill and not just check on the horse real fast. Is everything okay?
He's totally fine.
Totally fine. Okay, good. Just
Unrelated.
wanted to get that out for everyone. You're tuned in to the Blue Plate Special here on WDVX. The Blue Plate Special is presented by Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria on Jackson Avenue in Knoxville's Old City, home of the Big Plate on Fridays, and Modelo Especial and Corona Extra. Coming up next Friday on the Big Plate down at Barley's, the Tennos will be with us. Additional support for the Blue Plate Special comes from Visit Knoxville, and Monday of next week, there will be no show. It's Labor Day, so we're going to take a break on Monday, but we'll be back on Tuesday for the rest of the week with a full slate of shows. Next Saturday, Milkman and the Big Band are going to be right here. We're going to try to fit them all on this stage. They might spill off over to the side a little bit. It is a big band when Milkman comes around. Some other cool shows coming up that we got to tell you about. WDVX Summer Nights, the next edition of Summer Nights with John Stickley Trio and Emmy Sunshine. That's going to be September 10th down at Yeehaw Brewing Company. That's a free show here from your friends at WDVX. And then September 20th, we're going to be back in Oak Ridge at Bissell Park for the next WDVX Summer Sessions. Cruz Contreras and the Black Lilies, Madeline Talent, and Stony Point Bluegrass Band. Support for both of those shows, Summer Nights and Summer Sessions, comes from ORNL Federal Credit Union. Of course, Yeehaw Brewing Company supporting Summer Nights as well. And then Tennessee Shines, November 5th at the Bijou Theater. That is our big birthday show at WDVX, our 28th birthday party. November 5th is our actual birthday. We're going to be there at the Bijou Theater with a big old bluegrass birthday blowout extravaganza. AJ Lee and Blue Summit, East Nash Grass, the Poe Ramblin' Boys, Wyatt Ellis, Alex Leach. Jim Lauderdale is going to come back and host Tennessee Shines for that show as well. You can get tickets through the link at our website, WDVX.com, or Bijou Theater website, Tennessee Theater box office. That's where you can get tickets to Tennessee Shines. And when you come to these live shows, you drop some dollars in the bucket, you buy tickets to Tennessee Shines. That's just another way to support WDVX. And we are lucky to be here at Visit Knoxville today. Nighthawk with us. We've talked about the origins of the band and the tour. This is the final day of the tour. You guys are going to be in Nashville at the East Room tonight. And is the full nighttime show, is that a little different experience than what we get here at the Blue Plate Special?
Definitely. For one, Courtney, our drummer, will be on a full kit, and it might be a little bit more electric, a little bit more raucous, some might say. But yeah, this is our stripped back version. We do a couple of shows like this every once in a while, and it's always really nice just to really listen to the lyrics and connect with the people in the crowd. So thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah,
and tonight too. Is that when you break into the old 90s grunge cover band a little bit?
I was afraid you'd bring that up.
Maybe.
No, not tonight. Maybe,
not tonight.
Maybe some other night.
That was the Press Pub thing. It's got to be.
It was a special show. Special
Honestly,
show
yeah,
for the Press Pub.
Everyone was in the band was like trying to have us play a couple covers, and I was being really like strong-handed. I was saying no, I refuse. And then immediately, someone in the front row was like, "Play this song that we've been playing for the past 5 years," and I was like, all right, well, the crowd wants what it wants. We'll give it to them.
There you go. Well, I think the crowd is digging it here today. Nighthawk is with us, giving us what we need, what we want here on the WDVX Blue Plate Special. The new album, Before We Begin, is out now, and you can catch them in Nashville tonight. It's Nighthawk on the WDVX Blue Plate Special.
This song's called Beach Town.
Summer is looming. It's time I try to figure it out.
How can I desert this town? Swarming crowds of people, and what's left for me? Strangers take what they need and escape from reality. Some sort of seaside craze. Is that why I feel crazy? I fall back with the waves and crash on the beach. Business is booming. We really hit jackpot. But who are we fooling? Acting like what we're not. Peel back all that's paved. What's left for me? A snowy 9-month play, a desperate scene, some sort of seaside craze. Is that why I feel crazy? I fall back with the waves and crash on the beach.
Give it up for Alex on lead guitar back there. We've never heard that solo before, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good. This next song we actually wrote a couple days ago, so apologies if we're still figuring it out a little bit. This is our first time playing it live. It's called Settle In. We wrote it in Asheville, where we played a show 2 nights ago now. Yeah, we were just so inspired by how beautiful it was there that we had to write a song. This one's called Settle In.
Woke up from a dream where I thought it was my birthday. Still burning for that feeling, still learning every meal. Took that look off my face that made me seem crazy. Still mining for that long, still pining for what's wrong. Watch it spill and get it right. It always kills. So late at night, I take her back to my dad. We'll settle in.
my tall trees. You're sitting right beside me. Watch it spill and get it right. It always kills. Too late at night, I'll take her back to my tent. We'll settle in.
That is Nighthawk with us today here on the WDVX Blue Plate Special. That you did not write that song yesterday.
A couple days ago.
Couple days ago. Wow. Nighthawk with us here on the Blue Plate Special. You mentioned Asheville, the new record Before We Begin. That you did that record in Asheville, is that right?
We did, yeah. We recorded 5 of the 11 songs down there, and it was because a producer that we admire so much, Colin Miller, of the bands Indigo D'Souza and MJ Lenderman and Wednesday, we reached out to him and just sent him a couple of our songs, and he was like, yeah, I'd totally love to work with you guys. So it was kind of a dream. We've loved those bands so much, and it was great working with him and being down in Nashville.
We pinched ourselves like all the way through that trip when we first went down to record, because like it was just so weird to like finally be amidst all of our heroes musically. And then at the very end of recording, after the rest of our band had gone home, it was just me and Peyton. We were getting in the car ready to go, and then the car broke down and there's a snowstorm. And so we had to kind of like sulk back into the studio and be like, hey, remember us? We just recorded the album. Can you, jumpstart our car? So that brought it back down to like a little bit more of a realist experience, but it was still extraordinary. And yeah, Asheville is just such a special place for us, and it's such a small, like tight-knit musical community. So to even have a chance to like work with some of those musicians is just so incredible.
Well, you mentioned the regular live show maybe has a little more electric edge, and the record too has more of that Wednesday MJ Lenderman vibe to it. Is that one of your bigger influences? Who were you thinking of when you put this band together?
Yeah, definitely instrumentally. I feel like Wednesday and MJ Lenderman is the sound we're going for. I'm a huge fan of Andy Schauf and Courtney Barnett for lyrics. Just anything that really goes visceral, and there's a lot of like symbolism in their words that really hit me growing up when I was listening to them. So I've taken a lot of that. Also Shaky Graves, which is a different genre, but his lyrics always catch me in a mood. So I try to write like them. Totally.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about this band in particular is everyone comes with their own influences. Like, I kind of go back to the 2010s, like The National, Yeahs, like all that kind of classic indie stuff. Courtney over here is like big on Paramore, loves the pop punk world. Alex is like heavy guitar stuff. Shay's like, all sorts of just like dark, broody, like indie rock kind of stuff. Emma's got a little bit of everything, but it's really cool to bring the whole band together and have everyone's influences sort of converge, and I think it creates some really cool parts.
Yeah, Emma comes from a classical background, actually. She was a music minor, and she also played in a bluegrass band with her dad when she was like a very young child, so it's so awesome to have her. We would love to bring strings into our music. I think the sound just really carries and imbues such a beautiful color to it, so it's so nice to have violin.
Cool. Well, it all does blend together really nicely. We've enjoyed having you here on the show today. For those of you in the audience, feel free to shake and howdy with the band after the show. They have a merch table over there in the corner, those Nighthawk matchbooks, really Edward Hopper inspired kind of stuff. The new record is over there as well. If you're out there listening, Nighthawk Band, they're going to be in Nashville tonight at the East Room. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, if you have Instagram, we've got Instagram. It's nighthawk.band. We have a website, nighthawksings.com. And if you have any streaming services, Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon, all of the above. Also Bandcamp.
Best of all,
Bandcamp. Best of all to support musicians. We're Nighthawk. That's Night Space Hawk. You can find us there. And this is going to be, sorry.
Real quick. we also have our love bucket by the door over there by the elevator if you want to put a few dollars in the WDVX box. Again, shake and howdy with these guys. Support their music. Go to the Bandcamp. Buy their stuff if you're here at the show. And go see them tonight in Nashville if you're out there listening. Nighthawk with us here on the WDVX Blue Plate Special. We did it kind of in a roundabout way, but real quick, introduce everyone on stage and then one more tune from you guys here on the Blue Plate Special.
Of course. So behind me on cajon, but usually on drums, is Courtney Burnett. We've got Shay Sewell over to my left on bass. Alex Kozik hiding behind here on lead guitar. Emma Chun on violin. Coulter Adams on guitar and vocals. And my name is Peyton, and we're Nighthawk, and the song is called Those Lights.
And I never did see those lights right before me. Distracted driving with your friends behind me. Sorry for the short stops. It's late and my eyes get wide when the lights come at me at night. Never tried to fall for the sky. I never had my head raised high. Always sleeping, looking through windows. You got drunk on my birthday. Saw you weren't on the guest list. Had to say it 'cause you know I love your voice when you get mad. I never stayed up for the fight on the corner of Midlands Union, but the neighbor said you'd have to see your win. He was crushed until the morning, screwed up till the morning, sitting too far from your eyes, putting my feet on ice, watching my knees sink. I felt sorted, kicking cans down the sidewalk. What's a brother gonna do when he sees his soul that Xbox? And I never did see those lights right before me.
Thank you guys so much.
Nighthawk on the WDVX Blue Plate Special. Find out more, nighthawksings.com. We're off on Monday for the Blue Plate, back on Tuesday. But right now, we're going to throw it back to the studio here on East Tennessee's own WDVX.